It is important to understand that the collapse of the USSR didn't only mark the end of Soviet communism, but also the end of nearly 400 years of Russian imperialism, Russian colonialism in Eastern Europe, Central Asia, and even in the Far East of the Asian continent. It is with good reason, that the current Russian president, Vladimir Putin, once said that on this subject, in his opinion, the dissolution of the Soviet Union was probably the greatest geopolitical disaster, catastrophe of the 20th century. We must remember that, the USSR was not a homogeneous political body, I would say, unlike the European nation states of the 19th century. The USSR was a transcontinental country spanning a large part of the Eurasian continent. It was a multinational empire. It was more than a country. It was really an empire. And the USSR was composed of 15 European and Asian republics whose both politics and economics were highly centralized, with Russia as its head and Moscow as its heart, I would say. So Russian as people and Russian as a language and a culture were subduing Eurasia for many centuries, for more than 400 years. And suddenly, I let you imagine, from one day to the next, after the breakup of the USSR, millions of them who were Russian nationals with Soviet passport, living inside the Union but outside of the Russian Soviet Republic, they had to decide to relocate overnight and leaving everything behind, or to adopt the citizenship of their newly formed country. And it was an absolute tragedy for millions of families all across the Soviet Union. To give you an example of the fatal consequences, I would say, of a new drawing of these borders that are still relevant today, I would like to drag your attention to the cases of Estonia and Latvia, two Baltic countries, which used to be part of the Soviet Union and are now part of member state of NATO and of the European Union also. And after the disintegration of the Soviet Union, you have to know that the access to the citizenship of these countries has been restricted to the Russians and their offspring who settled in these countries only after they joined the USSR in 1944. So today, even if 40 years after the dissolution of the USSR, you still have around 25% of the population in these countries, in Estonia and in Latvia, who are Russian, ethnically, culturally Russian, but they are still deprived, I would say, of their elementary democratic rights. They are considered as second-zone citizens. And they are openly discriminated with the tacit consent of NATO and the European Union.